Hello, young people. This is video number 2 from Unit 1. We just finished talking about phenomena and how scientists look at specific events and things that happen. And the way that scientists try to explain these things that happen is we look at systems. We look at complex systems and the way they interact. And that helps explain complex things like El Nino. So what is a system in science? Well, a system is just a bunch of different parts that work together. A car is a system, a phone is a system, a toilet is a system. It's just different parts that work together. Your phone, for example, the parts can function independently, but when there's a change to one part, it causes a change in a different part. Your phone can be in your hand and the screen can be off, and you push that button and the screen lights up. The button isn't the screen and the screen isn't the button. The change in the button causes the screen to light up. Do you see? Systems are a series of interacting parts. And scientists study systems. So we can pick different systems depending on what we want to study. Last video we talked about some coral bleaching. So if I'm a scientist and I want to study coral bleaching, I first need to pick what system I'm going to look at. I could look at the system of every ocean on the planet, or I could look at the system of just the ocean that one coral is in that I'm interested in. Or maybe I could look at just the coral reef as a system. Or I could even look at a single coral, or even a single branch of a coral. These are all systems. And what information I want to learn is going to tell me what system I want to look at. Earth is really complicated. This is Earth Science. Earth is really complicated, and it's got a lot of systems, man. It's got a lot of systems. And different systems have different effects on one another, and they interact. For example, a common one right now that's in the news that we're all paying a lot of attention to, carbon dioxide and global temperature. These are part of different systems. Carbon dioxide is atmospheric carbon dioxide. This is part of the atmosphere. That's a system. Global temperature is part of the atmosphere, but it also becomes part of the ocean. It also becomes part of the land, part of deserts, part of forests, all different systems. So systems interact, and they're really complicated. Really quick, the 4 big systems on Earth. You can think of Earth as its own whole system. But if I'm trying to study coral bleaching, I don't want to look at the entire Earth. That's going to be too much information for me. But we can divide the Earth into 4 main systems. Really quick, the atmosphere. This is all of the gases that are held to the surface of the Earth through gravity. Gravity holds the atmosphere to our Earth. It's mostly nitrogen, and then mostly oxygen after that, and then a few trace elements of other stuff. That was the atmosphere. The hydrosphere. Hydrosphere. Hydro means water. That's all the water on Earth. Ice caps, oceans, lakes, underground aquifers, rivers. You get the point. Those are 2. The biosphere. Bio means life. That's everything living on the surface of the Earth, from the smallest bacterium to the largest elephant and the largest blue whale. It's all part of the biosphere. Trees, fungus, birds, fish, humans, biosphere. And then, so atmosphere, hydrosphere, biosphere. The last is the geosphere. Geo means earth, and it's everything that's not part of the other three. Everything not part of the other three. So it's the rocks and the soil and the mountains and the mantle of the earth and the liquid outer core and the solid inner core, all part of the geosphere. Those are our four big systems on Earth. Last thing about systems, matter and energy move between systems. Matter, what's matter? Matter is anything that takes up space and has mass. If it has mass and volume, it is matter. And energy is anything with the potential to do work, the ability to do work. That was a cat just running underneath my iPad. Matter and energy move between systems. Carbon can move from the atmosphere into the biosphere when a tree grabs carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere and uses it for photosynthesis. That is matter moving from one system to another. Oxygen does it, water does it, nitrogen does it. All kinds of matter can move between systems. Energy can move between systems. Heat. When the ocean warms up and it warms up the air above it, that is heat transferring from one system to a different one. And finally, there are names for the process of moving matter and energy. When water moves from the hydrosphere to the atmosphere, it's called evaporation. When heat moves from when heat moves from the water, from the hydrosphere to the atmosphere, that's by a process called convection. So there's names for these processes. So this one's running a little long. We're at 7.5 minutes. Systems. Big systems, little systems. Everything's part of systems, a series of interlocking and interacting processes. We'll see you on the next video.